Hey everybody, Spectre here again with Spectre and we're doing another unboxing. This product has been out, but it took us a while to get together to do it, and I wanted to really do it with two of us doing it, because I felt when we unboxed the other last wave ships that we really got to cover a lot of things and kind of go over some stuff, so that this is a pretty good idea if we break open the Rebel Aces.
Star Wars X-Wing Rebel Aces expansion pack.
Yeah, and the interesting about this is, as Spectre will open this baby up, is this is really a good aspect of what Fantasy Flight was doing to kind of give the different choices to use, which is prototypically done with these two ships. One, the A-Wing is not that popular, so you don't really see that in often builds. So the idea was to do a lot of things for the A-Wing.
It is popular with us. We've used it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, we're more fun for fun playing and stuff like that sort. And the other thing is the B-Wing is typically used with its more basic pilots. Yes. And the idea is to try to get, I think, as a pilot in here with some exceptional abilities, so you're more likely to spend it on that. And we're gonna again do what we did before. You see the ship rotating in front of you as we look at the pieces. Different paint jobs from the other ships, and I might be able to pop a little picture between the two so you can kind of see how they differentiate. So the B-Wing has a nice red look to it, but very typical from before. The A-Wing is in the what appears to be the prototype color.
Yes.
Look of the other
primary blue, stripe right down the middle, as you can see, and then a little bit more detail in the back end with some yellow striping towards the engines.
Yep.
So again, we say it all the time, the detail that goes into putting these models together is pretty fantastic.
And they look great, so you don't really need to do a lot of extra work with what's going on. So we have our additional sheet, which covers what?
Looks like we got the components list, of course, some new rules mentioned in here, new upgrade cards that we'll go over, faction restricted upgrades, ship restricted upgrades, negative squad point costs.
Yeah, negative squad points is something different. Yeah, I knew that was coming part of that.
New mission, there's a mission 9, jump to subspace.
Okay, the special was that, so we got a new mission in that.
And then just a little graphic on the back that shows the charts.
Yeah, so we're not really going to go too much over the ships because you've seen unboxings on the B-Wing and the A-Wing. We're just really going to kind of cover some of the newer stuff coming in. So a little bit more shorter for this video aspect.
Your typical card stocks, holders, boost action card.
Yep, all things that you should be familiar with the A-Wing.
Alright. Start with the pilots first, and looks like we're starting with some A-Wing pilots. We have Jake Farrell. So for the A-Wing,
nice 24-point card. Pilot 7 that we're looking at here, and after you perform a focus action or are assigned a focus token, you may perform a free boost or barrel roll action. So a little 2-action type of pilot.
A little bit. I like the way it mentions after you perform a focus or assign a focus. So if he focuses himself, he can throw that action, and then if someone gives him a focus, which is something that we've done in the past with the Hawk 290, he can throw a boost or a barrel roll on top of that. The other stats, 2-3-2-2, your typical A-Wing stats.
Yeah. No different in that aspect there, but Pilot 7 is a strong pilot.
It is. He's going to be one of the
quick earlier ones going.
Exactly. So interesting capabilities for him.
Yeah, for that high stat for a pilot for 24 is pretty darn good.
Second one, another A-Wing where, as we've seen, it drops in pilot skill to a 5. This is Jemmer Sojan. So pilot skill 5. The stats, as you can see, are the same, 2-3-2-2.
Yep, and while you're at range 1 or at least one enemy ship, increase your agility value by 1.
Ooh, so he's already got a 3 agility. He's going to a 4
at range 1.
At range 1, which is big. So
yeah, so
the Imperials get that extra dice. He's going to need extra dice as well.
Jemmer really
keeps a
is
level
more,
playing field.
And he's more vulnerable now at range 2 because at range 1 and 3 he's
going to be real tough.
Getting 4 dice. So but Jemmer doesn't get a veteran stat. He only has the missile payload out of the A-wing ship. So good. I think a nice little a defensive guy, maybe to draw some fire.
And 22 points on him, so about average what we see with some of the mid-level named pilots.
Yep.
And then the last couple here for the A-wing are your no-names.
Yeah.
We have the Green Squadron pilot, which
We've
is
seen that before in the other A-wing.
he's a pilot skill 3. Everything else is the same. Interesting though, does have the veteran capability.
No, I think he has that. They've had that before.
As he does? Okay.
Yeah, these cards aren't different.
And then the typical prototype level 1.
Yeah. These are just so if you go to the basic level, if you do get if you want to field the ship, you don't want to go for more. So that's what. So you're basically getting the 2 new A-wings from that. Then you get basically 2 more if you really don't want to use the big name pilots. But
now I'm going with the B-wing. Again, we have another pilot level 7, and this is Cayenne Farlander.
yeah, I think this is the big one. It's like you said, pilot 7. When attacking, you may remove 1 stretch token to change all of your focus results to hit results. This means this guy can K-turn and turn around and get the stress off him heartbeat. I think this is one of the big, from what I've seen, this is one of the big unique pilots that is really going to really change a face of what you can do with a B-wing, because he's veteran status, has a typical array of armament.
Yep.
But the fact that you can K and the dial normally for the B-wing, which has a lot of red situations.
Yeah, I mean most of the.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red dial situations for him.
One of the key with the stat about being able to remove the stress token is he can now go 4 straight, knowing he's going to stress, but then turn around
In the shooting.
and remove it. So his next turn after that, he can do whatever movement he wants without.
He might be almost. KM might also be one that, because of that, because you're almost getting this as an ability of shooting, which is very similar to marksmanship, or putting a focus on him. So he's still doing it. If he'd had like a push to limit, which gives him another action,
Yes. Yep.
with the stress anyways, then he can still probably go toe to toe with the TIE Defender, because
Right.
the TIE Defender's maneuverability is a different. This guy could almost match that because he can get that stress off as well, and not being stuck to being
And
hunted down.
keeping stress tokens off the B-wings, if you're familiar with that, is huge, because you want to, with the limited mobility that they have,
Yeah.
you don't want to further limit that with constantly getting stressed out. So very, very interesting abilities that Cayenne has, so it'll be interesting to see him in play.
Totally.
Next, we drop down to a pilot level 5 with Nera Dantels.
Right, and you can perform with your attack pod thing, secondary weapon attacks against enemy ships outside your firing arc.
So 360 range
With a secondary weapon.
with the secondary weapon.
So this one is going to be a high costing ship, but those secondary weapons sometimes can be tough to pull off. And
Yeah, we didn't mention Cayenne, as you could see on the graphic on the screen, was 29 points. Nera here is 26 points. But 360, that's significant. You think about some of the campaign that
Yeah.
we just did and how having a full arc would have assisted. It makes a big difference. If you've got a TIE fighter chasing you around, again, limited mobility with the B-wings. If you have a secondary weapon equipped, you're not as limited anymore. So
yeah, because
very interesting.
I think on one of our bat reps you mentioned how difficult the B-wing was to some of those maneuverable ships like the TIE Phantom. So in a lot of essence, these 2 ships are countering some of the wave forward Imperial ships. Like Can doing well against
Yes.
the TIE Defender. Nera could really put a hurt with enough equipped proton torpedoes to surprise a TIE Phantom who got out of its arc.
Yeah.
And trying to hunt it down. So that's nice.
And then Spectre Wiley likes his
Y-wings.
no, his lasers there.
The ion weapons.
The ion weapons.
Yeah.
I could see him loading up with something of that nature.
And then we got the two older ones.
Yeah, 2 older ones. Level 4 Dagger Squadron pilot.
Yeah. These are the more popular B-wings that most people use, but you
A
can see
lot of common. You see him quite a bit, and then dropping down to a skill level 2 with your Blue Squadron pilot. and then everything that you've seen in the past with those two. So
Yeah, but you can see people starting to use those unique name pilots and go from there. But it'll be interesting to see. But these upgrades that are coming up are some of the big things out of this set. Will make things very interesting.
yep. First upgrade card I'm flipping over here is Kyle Katarn. I believe we've seen him before.
You've seen him in the ship.
Oh, he's even in the ship.
He's
Yeah.
the Hawk. He's the Hawk pilot.
Take that back. He's in the Hawk pilot now.
Yeah.
You can actually put him in
As a
anywhere
crew.
else.
Yeah.
So Kyle Katarn, it's a level 3 upgrade,
Yeah, he's
or
a crew.
3-point upgrade
And
actually.
only rebel only, because of course that's where it's from. After you remove a stress token from your ship, you may assign a focus token to your ship. So this already, well, these guys don't have crews unless you build a crew.
You know, you'd have to
Get a
for
crew.
the B wing, you wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
to add it.
But-
Actually, or the A wing.
Yeah, so that's an interesting to get the focus kind of going on. But I think there might be something more to that later.
Janzor,
Another Hawk pilot.
another Hawk pilot now that's separated. Jans is a 2-pointer.
Rebel only again. And once per round, when a friendly ship at range 1 or 3 performs a focus action or would be assigned a focus token, you may assign that ship an evade token instead. So that's a pretty big deal for rebels because not many rebels have evade.
No, especially the B wings. You only got 1 agility,
Yeah.
so if you can give them an evade, that's an automatic.
Yeah,
dodge. That's
A wings
interesting.
have it, but this could help YT 1300s.
Yeah. So very interesting to see the 290 pilots now coming out of those ships and being able to be used throughout the fleet if necessary.
It's also nice to actually see their faces. So now we see Kyle as a man, Jen as a female.
Yeah.
So interesting.
We have a B-wing / E2. This is a 1-point upgrade.
B-wing
only.
modification. And here we go. Your upgrade bar
right.
gains the upgrades the crew icon. So now we can put Kyle in
Or-
one of these ships, especially
Jans.
if you put it in KN. So we're going to 30 for 33 points. You can put this with KN, and when he removes the stress token, he's actually getting a focus token back. So he can be very aggressive, and then get the focus token to be very defensive.
Wow.
Thing.
That's kind of that chain link of events that
Yeah.
comes in very handy in certain situations.
Yeah.
Very cool. Second, same one. Next card over is another B-wing E2 B-wing
So it's the
mod
same
only.
thing. They give you 2 of the same card.
So if you're running more than one B-wing, you can
Nice.
upgrade more than one with that
Yeah.
icon.
And we know out of my collection we have plenty of extra ships.
All right, now here's the first -2 points. CHARDAAN REFIT. Now this is an A-wing only
Okay.
modification.
And so -2, this card has a negative squad point cost on the missiles. So basically we could make the prototype A-15 or just reduce the cost of one of these other ships if you take your missile payload. So
You might want to ask, what's the point of that? Well, that card is free.
yeah,
And then on top of it being free,
It
it,
is.
it reduces 2 points from what you've already built. And any one of you that have been building squads knows that every point counts. Those 2 points could be the difference of putting
Janzor and
Janzor in or
Yeah.
going with Cayenne over Nara in your fleet. So that's very interesting.
yeah, and this is good for the A-wing because not many I know rebel pilots will use the A-wing missile payload because it's pretty. It's a hit or miss type of thing. It's chancy. I mean, I did the cluster missile.
The one time that I used at kind of an A-wing swarm, I outfitted them with some missiles, and I don't think I hit a single thing, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, it's just
So having an upgrade of this effect, I'd probably go with before throwing some missiles on there. And if you're running an A-wing squad, the next card I flip over is just another one of these CHARDAAN REFIT. So there's
Yeah.
2 more points that you can remove
yeah, it's an easy way to kind of do that.
out of your squad. Oh, wrong one.
They actually know they must know they must know I do an A-wing swarm because there's 3 of them here.
Oh, yeah, you just A-wing swarm. You reduce your fleet by like 6 points,
6
and then
points
you throw in another A-wing.
Yeah, cool.
Really
Very cool.
All right, this one, another A-wing only title, A-wing test pilot. This is a free card as well.
And your upgrade bar gains the one veteran upgrade card. You cannot equip 2 of the same upgrade cards. You cannot equip this card if your pod skill is valuable or lower. So you can actually give Jake 2 veteran abilities.
Yep.
or
Two
give
separate
someone who
weapons.
doesn't, like this
Gemmer.
Gemmer who doesn't, could get it. So now your A-Wings can have some really elite pilots in it. That's pretty cool.
So if you're running a swarm, you can now split your swarm into a couple of squads, have a couple of veterans running around or something.
Well, I gotta say
interesting, but it's free.
Look at
And
this though, if you put this on Jake, Jake could get, with one of the veteran one is already pushed to limit, right? Then he's gonna get a free action for doing a focus action. You can actually use this upgrade card to do another thing, whatever. So Jake could really be
another chaining things
really
together.
moving, yeah,
And then interesting here has
more.
it's another one. So if
Yeah.
you're running A-Wing Swarm, not only can you reduce the cost with the refit, you can give your A-Wings
Some better abilities.
some better abilities.
Cool, very cool.
Alright, here's one that actually costs something. 1 point, enhanced scopes. This is the open for anybody.
Yeah, this is interesting because it's meant to get your higher pilots to move first. So during the activation phase, treat your pilot skill value as 0. So a chance to say like Canyon, who needs to go first and clear out. This is nice to go first, and then you'll be shooting first. So different play. That's definitely a different.
One of those chess matches. If you're in a situation where you need to move first, maybe it's to move. You know, we've come in.
Oh my
I
God.
think both of us
Many
at least
times.
have done it. Is
many times.
I've got this level 2 guy that needs to move, but if I move there, I'm going to hit my level 5 guy. So if you have that upgrade in there, well, screw it. Then my guy's going to move first now, and then this guy can swim behind him without running into each other.
What our CR90 campaign, if
That's what I was thinking of.
Just we had this can't go on an X-wing though, but I mean, just a good point was Wedge was Biggs was in a lot of situations where he wanted to help, but every time he was ready, he tried to move. There was the ship in front of him.
Yep.
If he had gotten before, then he would have gotten a lot of those action bars on him. So that's where this is big. Like you put this on one of these other ships that are high level, you can really get a chance to do that. So that's pretty cool.
And interesting in this upgrade pack, they seem to double up
Double
a
everything,
lot of the cards. So
nice.
if you want to run them out, you can. And the last 2 are proton rockets.
Rockets.
These are 3-point upgrades in your missile category.
They don't use target lock. They use focus.
Oh, yes.
So discard this card to perform this attack. You may roll additional attack dice equal to your agility value to a maximum of 3 additional dice. So this is the A-Wings. This is the A-Wings baby.
So, wow. It has 2 already, and then up to your additional up to 3. So this would actually be a 5-shot for an A-Wing if you were to use it.
Yeah.
Off of focus, not
Yeah.
a target lock.
At range 1, yeah.
Interesting. Different. For someone like you that has a strong history of landing your missile attacks,
Yeah.
TIE bombers.
Yeah,
That could be pretty effective for you.
this is a good way to take out a TIE bomber.
It is. It is.
If you land a critical hit on that with multiple, you can
TIE bomber and look at the Defender, the TIE Advance, some of the new TIEs that have higher hull value, some with the shields now.
Shield down, yeah.
That could come in handy. You have the potential of hitting a
this-
5-shot, up to a 5-shot in.
Well, with the A-Wing speed that we know that they possess now, these A-Wings now have a little bit, I think, some lethality to them if you put the right combinations. I think there's definitely some combo builds in here, but proton rockets would be nice that you could really get up close, or you can now swarm more because of the CHARDAAN refit.
Yeah, very interesting upgrades. Definitely gives you something to think about as you're putting your build together on how you want to work it with the -2 cards, with the refits, the free with the test pilot abilities. Could get interesting.
I gotta say though, I mean, for what's going on, I think this is moving more toward higher builds again for the Rebels. So where a lot of people were kind of going common squadron pilots, this one's going to look like you're going to end up wanting to use some combos, because I think the combos are there. And one of my builds that I thought was well before was with a Biggs Wedge, and I think Crowell really helped me do a lot of good things. I can see with Can already being a pretty interesting one to build.
And you have to do with the Rebels. You're looking at 29 29, 26, 24 point named pilots. You can't really run with a lot of named pilots, unless you just want to run 1 or 2 ships.
Yeah.
Where the Imperials, usually outnumbered. So you want to get in those smaller ships, little prototypes at 17, get 2 or 3 of those running around and try to equal the numbers, and having the ability to fire 5 rockets could be a game changer.
Yeah, well, we know the Z95 head arm is pretty cheap, but now you can do that with prototypes at 15. That's going to be a lot of cheap ships, so
Absolutely.
we'll do a lot of that. So I hope you enjoyed this. That's the Rebel Aces, and we hope you'll be seeing those guys on our tabletop in the future.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to use them and put some of these new pilots into play and give it a go.
All right.